How's it going, everybody? What If Universe here. Today I'm doing a commentary on the first episode of Dragon Ball GT Abridged to talk about some of the processes that went behind the scenes a little bit. Now, I don't know as much as everyone else does on the writing team and like the big three, Sal, Cyan, and Z, all those people. I don't really know as much as them, but I can tell you some of the processes that went into this. One thing is the trying out process, where you have to essentially try to get your voice in, try to apply, try to figure out what character, you're going for. Now, if you see at the end of the video, it says that I am a different character. However, for this episode in particular, I played that weird hippo-looking cop, the one with the buck teeth thing, kind of like SpongeBob, sort of like that, except they're more spread apart. That's why I call him the weird hippo cop. And with the scene with Beerus and Whis here, it was a pretty nice change to show sort of what happened to this whole continuity and how different this universe functions. And especially one of my favorite parts was the Aunt Janimba part, because you can't go wrong with some old classic Aunt Janimba pancakes, obviously. And I think all the voice actors did really great. One voice actor that I talked to who no longer does voicing on the project is actually Seijay. And she did the art for the Aunt Janimba pancakes, if you don't remember, or didn't see on Twitter, wherever she's posted. But she also tried out for Kid Goku, and she asked me a while back for help and see what I thought about her voice acting. And to me, I thought personally she did fine with certain takes. I think it was circumstantial that Jay didn't end up voicing Kid Goku after all, because there are other factors that went into it. For example, the tropical storm that was heading towards Texas, which was pretty bad. It wasn't pretty. So, I think having her replaced at the end of the day, I think was for the best. That there's not too much else I want to discuss about that, because it's more of a private issue. Yeah. One thing that I particularly didn't like about this episode personally is just the really long intro sequence. Now, I understand the reasoning behind it to keep it similar, because this is supposed to recap everything to explain GT to some newcomers in case people forgot what it was. And I really did like the shortened intro of Dan Dan that we used for the intro to the Bridge series. If it were me, I would have done the Beerus and Whis thing, then cut away to this, but again, that's just me. And the graphic for Dragon Ball GT Abridged looked pretty nice, if I will say so myself. Other characters I actually tried out for. I tried out for Mr. Popo, which he'll be coming up here in a little bit after you watch a little bit of Oob and Goku fighting here, which I thought this sequence was edited pretty well to show how their fighting is. Not too much difference, but the voice work for both the characters was phenomenal. And I can't wait till we get up to this one line here. Oh, another fun fact, I actually once tried out to voice for Emperor Pilaf, and it actually shot my voice, so I had to wait to voice my character later on. I think Science, if I remember him correctly, he could probably tell you how that one take was. It was good, it just ruined my voice, because I don't have the natural raspiness that's required for Pilaf, to be honest with you. I think I could do it with practice, but I don't know, it's a bit of a hassle here. And another interesting thing you might not notice with Mr. Popo and the scene with Goku and Oob is actually that with his lips, they were actually redrawn and put back onto his face, because he normally didn't talk in that scene about the sacred ointment, which, if you don't know what the Funimation leaks are, I think it's sort of a reference to that. because it was pretty topical at the time, but then again, that could have just been a joke before it. Because this was written a little bit before the Funimation leaks even happened to begin with. Now, the writing for Pilaf in this scene is actually really on point. Like how this plot happens for Dragon Ball GT Abridged, because the joke is that he's using a plot hole to his advantage to hopefully win, which is really funny, giving him like a fourth wall breaking type of vibe similar to Deadpool, in my opinion. Now, I think that the designs, if I want to talk about with how everything was with the cut to Popo just staring, like, originally Mr. Popo was actually supposed to say something there, but I believe due to time or something it might have been cut. Because I remember there was some line that I was supposed to say about at least someone cares that I'm cleaning up the lookout or something, but I actually think the cutaway to Mr. Popo just staring blankly is way more funnier. Like, that was something interesting. Oh yeah, with Shenron. If you don't remember Z here, he actually managed to find a way to edit the voice so that way it could actually mimic everything, because one thing that we were considering doing is just using some audio clip from the games or something, or keeping Omega Shenron the same, or Ultimate Shenron, or sometimes referred to as Super Shenron in our dubs. I don't remember GT that well, to be honest with all of you. I have seen episodes because I kind of have to understand how my character originally worked and how I want to change it. And also for the scene here, like, I think the fight between where Goku just kicks those missiles and just picks them up, it's just pretty awesome. Like, it's great. I can't say too much else about that. And the song that Pilaf's whistling, people might not know this, but that was actually lifted from Gohan's whistling that people might not remember. That was actually a reference that I didn't even catch my first time watching this, which is really cool looking back on it and doing a commentary. It's kind of cool to know that little fun fact. And Goku's now been transformed to a kid, and I think what's cool is that the voice for Goku, I believe, is actually the same person doing both voices. So, at least that's what I remember. I'll have to wait till we get to credits there. And the little cutaway thing, the transition that they do for Dragon Ball GT, I like that's there, but I wish they put the bridge thing underneath it, but I guess it was cut for time constraints, most likely. King Kai, I think I put on my thing that I was supposed to try out for him, but I never got the chance to record lines for him. But I think the person who ended up voicing King Kai in this did an excellent job. Let's see. Dende, I think I also was supposed to try out for him as well. But again, a lot of this with Dragon Ball GT Abridged first episode, there's a lot of stuff that was changed for timing purposes. Because if people don't remember, we actually were trying to hit a deadline for Seiyakon, so some stuff had to be done. I did love the poster edit here that we did for the movie scene with Pan and her quote-unquote boyfriend, and the Dragon Ball Evolution thing that we showed. I think it was good. Like, it was a great mock of what Dragon Ball Evolution was. It's literally the biggest joke in the Dragon Ball community. It's like you have Piccolo looking like one of those scrolls from the new movie. Yeah, Captain Marvel, whatever. And my scene's coming up here pretty soon. Let's see, so there's the robber dude. Hey, there's my scene. I always like it. And I think the bank robbery scene, that scene was almost cut, actually. Originally, we were just gonna do a cut to Trunks heading over back to the house, but me and a few other people really wanted to keep that bank robbery scene in because we honestly really liked it. And I think for the first episode, I think it's necessary to have some sort of establishing moment for Pan because it's a bit tricky to try to edit around it, in my opinion. Unless you want to do one of the SpongeBob title cards where you do like 10 minutes later or something, which could have worked, but it's not really what I would want to see. But the voices on these robber characters, the crooks or whatever you want to call them, they're really good. And I was supposed to voice one of them at one point, but I didn't have the Brooklyn accent going on, you know? It's just something that I can't get right for some reason. And I think it was, at the end of the day, I think it turned out for the better because they didn't have to end up doing any type of screaming or anything, or yells or whatever, because that's something I probably would have done. Oh yeah, for the boyfriend character, I almost tried out for him, but my voice is a bit too deep to play a teenage character like that, and it probably would have made him seem even more awkward than he does in the original GT, which is quite funny. Oh yeah, the scene with Roshi. I think Roshi, out of every character in Dragon Ball GT Abridged, he has the best lines out of like almost everybody. But then again, I'm a really big Roshi fan because how funny he is. Like, I don't know. I just like something about his character, you know? Especially with like, oh Goku, you could be used as a chick magnet. Let's do this. Like, that's kind of like his attitude for this. And you have to imagine like how old Roshi would be here versus like you have to consider it's like end of Z Roshi, so he's decently old. And if I were Pan, I figured out that Goku was actually my grandpa. I'd probably freak out as much as he did. The transition to the house, I thought that was pretty good. Well, smoothly edited, done. I'm not too sure how it was in the original. The only thing that I saw beforehand was the rough draft. So basically we saw flip flaps where characters would be talking according to the script that we had, which was also a draft script. I thought it was neat because as voice actors, if we felt that certain lines need to be changed, certain voice actors, I believe, did change certain lines. Am I gonna mention everything that was Kara made in? Not really. Because I don't really remember too much really being cut from the first episode. There was stuff that wanted to be taken away because of time constraints, but I think it was worth keeping in what was kept in because at the end of the day, I think this is probably one of the best things I've seen with the Dragon Ball community recently, of everyone coming together and trying to make something, you know? Because with Team 4 Star for me, that's what sort of made me interested into Dragon Ball again. There's a lot of people who actually got into Dragon Ball because of Team 4 Star. Now, I read the original Dragon Ball manga before I checked out Team 4 Star, but before you go, I want you to be sure to subscribe to the Dragon Ball Network YouTube channel, so that way you don't miss out on actual episodes, and episodes that I'll be appearing in as my main character, Lord Donkey. And also, be sure to check out their Discord, because they do stuff there. I'm also there. Sal is there. Science is there. Plus Ultraman's there. Just a lot of people who are somewhat connected to Dragon Ball community, because it's probably the largest Dragon Ball community Discord I've actually been in. And they're surprisingly really friendly to newcomers like myself, who don't have, extensive, backgrounds known for doing Dragon Ball, but wanting to participate in the community, doing what-ifs or doing voiceover, what I'm doing for this project. So yeah, don't forget to do that. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe, and comment below if you want to see more commentaries like this. And I will see you all in the next episode. So, see ya.